When I'm working with clients who inevitably are in some form of crisis, pain, or struggle when I'm meeting with them, at some point in our sharing, I will often make this statement to them. You don't know who you are, you only know who you've become. And who you've become is not who you are. And this is why you are struggling the way you are. So the great question then becomes, who am I? And this is really at the core of what soul coaching is all about. And we have this method and this model that I'm about to explain to you briefly that I really think is the secret sauce of soul coaching. And it begins with the very center, which is our true self, our true identity. So as you can see on this graphic, at the center is the soul, the true self, which I believe is our true identity. But what happens to all of us through the experience of having life on earth is we have all kinds of negative influences that impact and imprint who we are. And they come in the forms of judgment, rejection, fear, blame, shame. All of these things are what happen to us. And when this occurs, we begin to experience wounds and fears. And within those, we experience confusion, anger, a sense of being lost. When this happens, our ego starts to develop false beliefs about ourselves and life. And the core false beliefs that we all have are, I'm not lovable, acceptable, worthy, safe, or good enough. And because this is painful, our ego, which is a healthy and unhealthy part of our psyche, becomes our protector and wants to protect us from pain and manage pain. And this becomes the birthplace of ego coping mechanisms that start to show up as walls, anger, resentment, judgment, greed, power, control, numbness, checked out. These are all the ways we learn to cope with all of this pain that we may not even know we are carrying. And often we do know we're carrying. One other layer that gets created as a coping mechanism is the masks, or what end up becoming our personality and sometimes what we believe to be our true identity. And these are the things and the ways in which we learn to be in order to get what we want from other people. So they can show up in the form of, I'll be good, smart, likable, successful, popular, better than, a rebel, a loner, dependent, independent, extroverted, introverted. The lists go on. And these are all the ways that the ego has learned to be in order to feel safe and get our wants and needs met. This is a high-level explanation of the soul coaching method. I'm going to be offering a soul coaching class in a few weeks. It's a 5-week intensive that will help us start to delve more deeply into this model and learning all the basic tools and skills needed to begin a career as a soul coach. I hope you can join me. Have a great day.